Okay, so welcome everybody. I hope you're having an awesome day today. As we'll typically do whenever we begin a lesson, we're always going to start by taking a step back and talking about some of the things we've learned in recent lessons. So here's a pretty challenging question. Simplify this expression. A is 6, B is 3, C is 2, and D is 1. I just want to remind you, I don't want to say this a million times, but whenever I give you a question like this, you pause the video, you do the whole question, and then when you're done with the question, I start doing the question or showing you the answers to the question. In my time, I'm going to do these answers right away, which is why when you look at the sum of the videos for the day, it might only come out to 40 or 50 minutes, but there's so much more time that you're expected to do work that it would add up to an entire lesson. Okay? So, with that said, pause the video, get started. All right, so now it's time for me to answer this guy. And again, in my time, it's only been a couple of seconds since I assigned this question. So the first thing we do is substitute all of the constant values for the variables. Okay, so I substitute all of those in, and then I ask myself, which of these things, according to the order of operations, do I have to do first? And the answer to that is the parentheses. So I do 6 minus 2, which is in the denominator, right-hand side of the denominator, and I get 4. And because I'm going to work on the numerator and the denominator separately, I can also do the first step in the numerator. It's kind of like doing two different questions at once. So 2 squared is 4. Now I look at the numerator and I ask myself, what do I do next? The answer to that is the multiplication. And likewise in the denominator, and you will also do the multiplication. So in the denominator, I did 1 times 4 is 4. And then in the numerator, I do 2 times 6 is 12. And then I just work it straight across because I have addition and subtraction left in the numerator. And remember, with addition and subtraction, it's whatever order you get it in. It's left to right. Do not always do the additions first. So 12 minus 12 is 0, plus 4 is 4, and 3 plus 4. And the denominator was 7, so the correct answer is 7. And that's a nice challenging question for simplifying the expressions. I also want to mention that you can do this on your graphing calculator. Just be very careful about how you enter this information. By the way, if you have a TI-84 or plus, TI-84 plus or later generations, you can do alpha y equals. Alpha is the green button in the left-hand corner. You can do alpha y equals, and that will give you a fraction. And then you can start inputting everything you need to do into that fraction form. If you don't do it that way, and you do a division symbol for the fraction, at the end you're going to get a decimal, and you want to hit math, enter, enter. And that will convert the decimal to a fraction. Okay. Next question. Each day an animal shelter uses C pounds of cat food and D pounds of dog food. The shelter manager needs to order 5 days worth of cat food and 11 days worth of dog food. Write an algebraic expression for the total amount of dog food she must order. Again, pause and then restart. All right, so the expression for this, you're going to order C pounds of cat food a day, and you have to do 5 days worth, so that's 5 times C or 5C, and D pounds a day for dog food, and 11 days worth, so that's 11D. And the total amount, you got to add those up, 5C plus 11D. All right, so those questions between the simplify and the translating algebraic expressions, or creating an algebraic expressions, summarize pretty well what we've been going over in class. And now we're just going to formalize our study of algebraic phrases a little bit, okay? You can take a screenshot of this screen, and I'm actually going to upload the PowerPoint presentation itself after class on the third lesson. I don't want to put the PowerPoints up until you have completed them. So the next phase that we're going to work on is converting into algebraic phrases. And I just want you to be able to see words that we use. This isn't a complete list, but it's a pretty solid list. Here you go. Some words for add are plus, sum, increase, exceeds, and more than. And the inverse operation of add is subtract, and plus pairs with minus, sum with difference, increase, decrease, exceeds, and diminish, more than, less than. Okay? And then you have multiply. 3 keywords for multiplication are times, product, and of. And then we have the main word for divide is quotient. You might also see ratio. But those are English phrases that convert into algebraic phrases, and these associated operations, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. I think you're probably familiar with all of these, but if not, then make it a point to remember this. Like I said, you can just do a screenshot, with your phone.